Welcome to the Charity Matters podcast. I'm Heidi Johnson, nonprofit founder, storyteller, and lifelong helper. For more than a decade, I've been amplifying the voices of modern day heroes, people who solve real problems with heart and courage and service. As we launch season 10, we continue our mission of helping the helpers and reminding the world that meaningful change happens one small act of kindness at a time. Did you know that 68% of all fourth graders in the United States are not proficient readers? Today's guest is no stranger to that fact. I'm so excited to have Julie Coyne, the founder of the Southeast Community Foundation, and I can't wait to share her incredible journey and inspiring conversation about what she's doing to change those numbers and to make a significant difference in our world. I am so excited to have Julie Coyne here today from the Southeast Community Foundation. Welcome, Julie. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Heidi, for inviting me. I am so pleased to have the opportunity to show Southeast Community Foundation to you and to your audience. It's very, very exciting for us. Thank you.
Well, we are really excited, and nothing makes us happier at Charity Matters than really connecting great people and great causes and really just educating people on the journey of service and giving. And I'm really excited to kind of unpack your story and let everyone know about the incredible work you're doing. For us, I'm going to say locally, being in Angelino, in Southeast LA. So why don't we just dive right in, and why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do at the Southeast Community Foundation?
Well, Southeast Community Foundation, or SEC, as sometimes we're talked about, is a nonprofit 501c3, and we've located in Los Angeles, and we focus on the Southeast community right now. Our mission is to work with underserved children and help them get the academic skills they need to move forward in life. We focus on math and English. The hope is that not only we do it in Southeast community, but we will do it throughout Los Angeles. And we do partner with local communities, and currently with LA Unified.
That's great. That's so amazing. Well, we're not going to get into the status of our school district. We're going to leave that hot topic alone. But if anyone wants to read the state of California out of 50, I think we're ranking 49th currently in education. So this is a very important topic, and not just for people in LA. Education is the core of which everything is built upon. If we don't have that foundation, there's nothing else to go forward. It is the building block of everything that we do. So I love that you guys are doing that. But let's just like rewind the tape and go way back to kind of the early beginning of what giving service as a child. I mean, no one ever in the history of ever says, when I grow up, I'm going to start a nonprofit. You know, we think we're going to do all these different things. But when we look back at the people who influenced us or the things that kind of happened in our life that brought us to this, what are some of those early things that you think of that influenced you in doing this?
I have an unusual circumstance. I first found out about nonprofits when I was 2 years old, and I had polio. My parents were 21 years old, and I was paralyzed from the neck down. If it had not been for the March of Dimes, my bills would not have been paid, and I would not be sitting here now. Most people don't know I had polio, and there's not very many people like us left. But I learned about nonprofits very quickly. As my mother always served and did things in schools and fun. And I want you to understand that I am 100% publicly educated all through my graduate degree in the state of California. So I have some things to say about that. But let's get back to philanthropy. I also got involved with the startup of Leadership America, a national organization to develop women leaders. I was one of the founding people for Women in Philanthropy at UCLA. An interesting organization to teach women of means how to feel comfortable donating to causes they have passion with.
I love
Eventually,
that.
I was on the board of the American Diabetes Association in Los Angeles. I recently stepped down as chair of Ultimed's health organization for their board of trustees. I've been on the board for 8 years, and they definitely focus on underserved kids.
I love that.
However, um,
Those early
I
years, I
realized,
think.
I realized through all those experiences that my focus was going to be underserved children in either education or health.
Right.
And so
And
that's
so,
how I am.
but I love, and I don't can't say I love hearing that you had polio, but I'm always fascinated by how the dots connect in our lives and
Yeah.
some of the things that we think, especially when you're two, you don't have the sense to really think about what that is. It just is. But when you look back and think about all the things that you went through that brought you to this work, and it's usually for almost all of us, the things we think are going to break us are the things that make us, right? The
Yeah.
things that are the hardest are the things that make us the fiercest protectors of those that don't have whatever it is that we're trying to provide.
Yeah.
And so I love hearing I don't want to say an adversity story, but it's kind of the American way. It's like
Yeah.
we overcome, right? We take whatever was given to us and we make lemonade out of whatever those lemons are. And it sounds like your parents were wonderful role models,
They were.
and I think also being a recipient sometimes really instills the pay it forward in us
Mhm.
when we know that someone did something to help us.
Somebody did something. That's right.
We feel doubly called to pay it forward.
Mhm.
And that's the beauty of these conversations and this work, because while the world and the media focuses on this downward spiral of humanity, we know that there's an upward spiral, and every person we touch is helping somebody else. So
That's right.
talk to me about kind of the moment. I mean, you don't just wake up and say, I'm going to start a nonprofit. What were the pieces that came together, or was there a clear moment that
Yeah.
you said, I have to start this organization?
There was. There's been a lot of little ones, but then there was a very clear one. I had the privilege of starting a business with other partners 35 years ago in an underserved community. And I got to know the community pretty well. And then around 2011, there was a newspaper article in the LA Times. On the front page, it was a slow news day, comparing that underserved community to Manhattan Beach. Now, why?
Mhm.
Well, they were the same geographical size and they had the same, supposedly same population, although I kind of doubt that. But they compared them in three areas. One of them was education, one of them was income, and the last one was fat index. So the title of the article was, Do You Have to Be Rich to Be Healthy?
Oh, wow.
So Manhattan Beach, of course, is in the top three for per capita income and is, of
Right.
course, in the top three for education and has the lowest fat index in California.
Really?
My little community was in the bottom three for per capita income, and definitely the bottom three for education, and they were in the top three for fat index.
Wow.
Now imagine
Wow.
being that community and seeing that on the front page of the paper.
Right.
It was devastating. The kids would come up and say, "Well, we're the fattest, stupidest, poorest kids in the state of California." So
Wow.
I was also devastated and felt I had to do something. And the first
Right.
thing I did, which was before Southeast Community Foundation, is I created a scholarship program where they had to compete very heavily to get them to go to college. And I got the cream of the crop. And I sent 49 kids. My organization sent 49 kids
Right.
to college, even to MIT,
Wow.
UCLA, Berkeley,
Wow.
whatever, all these really, and they graduated. That was a key thing because what I learned, and I'm talking quickly, I'm sorry, what I
No.
learned is that they weren't ready. They were the cream of the crop. They had 4.4 grade point averages and were scoring 55% in English on the SAT. Things weren't going well, and it took a lot to
Right.
get them through college. So I
Right.
retreated and decided that the problem needed to be addressed in a different manner.
Right.
Southeast Community Foundation came out of that. And
Oh.
where you now know that what we do is take the students, the teachers assign us that are falling behind, and we work with
Right.
them one on one to get their skills set up. And so that's how this came about.
And that was in 2015?
Started in 2015 and it still goes on now. Yeah.
Wow.
It,
I've spent a lot of time in South Central in Watts. I was very involved with Urban Day
good.
on 112th and Central and chaired their board and for 10 years was on their board. And I watched our boys in Bourbon Day. Our kids all live in poverty and 100% of them go to college, but they would show up as freshmen, to your point,
Yeah.
and their reading and math was so behind
Right.
that they were coming in to high school, and if we were lucky at a fifth grade level sometimes.
Yeah.
And this was, the stats could have changed to today, but this was, 10 years ago. And the work was, and great kids, wonderful families. I mean, people, they needed help, but wow, the catch-up work. So this speaks to me and I understand. And I also understand flipping the script and deciding to focus on the bottom of getting that core foundation so
Yeah.
that they can build upon it because
Yeah.
a lot of these schools pass these kids through
Oh,
sometimes.
yes, they do. Oh, yes, they do.
And that's the biggest disservice that they can possibly do. So talk to me. I mean, we know the challenges that these children have. We know the challenges that these families have. These kids are living in sometimes unsafe um,
Yeah.
environments. The families are barely scraping together food if they are, and what their definition of a family might be a
Yeah,
grandmother or a
absolutely.
mother.
Yep.
It might not be what we can, a traditional,
That's right.
family.
Yep.
But talk to me about some of the biggest challenges that you had in the early days of starting this. And, what was something that was really hard to figure out?
Hmm. The thing that's hardest to figure out, and it's always on me, is funding.
Yeah,
None of these children, the children do not pay for this tutoring. We
right,
do partner with LA Unified and with other districts, but the funding is not anywhere comparable to paying for the costs of something like this. We have something very special. It's almost called a boutique way of educating these kids. And that's because I feel strongly that they have to have quality tutoring,
right,
not just, let's get them all in a room for 15 kids in a room. It's
right.
one-on-one, two-on-one, small group interaction. That is costly.
Yep,
Finding, we are not supported by a government agency. We go out to the people. That's why it's a community foundation. It's why
right,
it's a public foundation. It is not my foundation.
right,
It is not private. And there was
right.
a purpose for that because I really wanted to see the community own this, to see the community feel the joy of helping their kids move forward.
Right. Well, and that's one of the things that I think so fascinating about the founder role, because at the end of the day, that's one of the biggest parts of our job is creating community, saying, "Hey, we're having a party, we want everyone to come.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm doing something fun and I want you to come be a part of it."
Yeah.
And that's really what we do when we're starting. It's just saying, "I have an idea and what do you think? Can you help me?"
Yeah.
And
It's
right?
It's on your mind all the time. You wake up every morning thinking, how can I get the word out so that
Right?
people feel connected and recognize what work it is we're doing? Um, people want to participate. I find people are generous of heart and do want to be involved. However, they've also been hurt so many times and feel like, is this real? So coming
Right.
out today is another opportunity for me to say, this is real and what we do matters.
And it does matter. And for people who are listening that aren't in Los Angeles, these needs exist everywhere in every community in the country. Okay, maybe not in Manhattan Beach, but almost everywhere
Yeah,
else.
poor Manhattan Beach. Yeah.
Sorry, Manhattan Beach. My son just moved to
Yeah.
Manhattan Beach. Sorry, Manhattan Beach. But but these issues are not unique to LA. They are not unique to LA, and they are prevalent. And it takes literally one person who cares that says, I have an idea. And it's never about one person. It's about the community that you build. It's
Right.
about the community that you bring together and the group of people. But it starts with that moment. It starts with
Yeah,
that article, it starts with an idea, and it starts with you waking up every day saying, how can I do this, right? How can I make this
every
better?
day. That's right.
Right? So
Yeah.
what fuels you? Because it is hard work. And, we all have life, we all have stuff, challenges, all these other commitments that we have. And when you have it, when you're thinking, oh my God, what have I started? What have I done? And you can't, it's not like you can just close the laptop at the end of the day. You're a business
Nope.
person already.
Yeah.
When you have a business, you can shut it off at night a little bit easier than when you have children that are relying on you for
That's right.
education.
That's right. And
It's
staff.
harder to turn that off, right? And staff. And
Absolutely.
so, what fuels you on those hard days to keep going? When you just think, oh my God, I've bitten off more than I can chew. What have I done? What fuels you?
I'm doing something I love doing. I
Oh,
spent 45, 50 years of my life working, and I was good at
right,
what I did. But
right,
that doesn't mean I loved and had the passion for what I did.
right.
Now, when I see a child's face and they're finally reading, or I see a
Mm,
young student who's finally learned how to do a math problem and the light in their eyes and the happiness, these kids run to our tutoring sessions. They aren't dragged. I've seen children run off of a bus because they thought they might be late at the rec center to get tutoring from us. The happy joy, which is what I get. I get so
right.
much joy out of this because for I am doing something I want to do and I
Mm,
feel makes a difference. I see the teachers are very kind. They're constantly reminding us how we are impacting these kids. They're very, very
mm,
happy with this program. The parents are so grateful. The truth of the
right.
matter is, the person who's grateful is me. I am grateful that I'm having this opportunity to make a difference in so many children's lives.
Mm. That's the holy grail, right? That's the payday.
Holy great.
Right? That's the payday, and I say it to every single person and everyone who does this work. This is how we get paid. It's that
That's right.
there's something magical that shifts inside of us when we know we've had a tiny cog in a wheel in
Yeah.
someone's life that that we're blessed to have, and when people are like, "Wow, why are you all so happy?" Why, I'm like, "Well, I'm not always so happy, but that joy comes from surface, right? The
Yeah.
joy we get is you can't, it's the best drug on earth. As far as I'm
Yeah. As
convinced.
I tell people, we're changing futures, not just test scores.
Oh, I like that. That's a great line.
It is true, though. It is
It,
true. It's where they're going in the future. And when you feel good about yourself and you have self-respect, it changes everything.
right? I totally agree. So talk to me about success and impact. And I don't almost love I run a nonprofit. I run a youth leadership organization is my day job. And I work with 3,000 kids a year and from all different socioeconomic
Yeah.
levels. And I have to write grants and I have to measure our impact. And we're measuring leadership. It's really hard. And how you measure. There's no sentence or form to measure a child who can read and what that does for them. There's no measuring stick for the impact of giving someone the skills to lead and public speak and communicate and have these gifts. There's no measuring stick for that. So how do you measure impact? And I know you told us a little bit with just the joy and the
Yeah.
smiles and the
Yeah.
parents, but what would you tell someone, when you're describing Southeast Community Foundation, what you think your impact's been?
Well, you have to do both. You have to do both the numbers and the feeling. The
Right.
fact is, yeah, we have tutored hundreds of children and we spend thousands of tutoring hours doing that. And the numbers speak for themselves. The improvement level of these children is dramatic. We're talking in the high 85, 89%. So it's really amazing.
Wow.
But for me, again, hearing from the teachers and the parents, the students, in a way, we never lose. Even the scholarship students, one of my scholarship students is on my board. That's how the
Wow.
relationship is. There, it's
That's a beautiful full
it's a
circle
bond.
test. That's
It's a bond.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
And
so great.
yeah. She has her master's degree in public administration. She works in civil service in one of the cities. I mean, giving back 100% and believing in what we do. Um,
Wow.
yeah. So I guess I feel it. I feel it from the
Right.
teachers and the parents the most. I look at the scores, they're important to me because that's how you get the grants. That's how you get
Right.
people to be open their
Right.
eyes. But numbers are important to me. And
Right.
numbers in that I want to get to more students, which we'll talk about later, I know.
Right.
Yeah, it's important. The more we can help.
Well, and I think leading to getting to more students, you know, we all start with smaller goals. We think, if we could just help one student, if we could just
Yeah,
get one student to college, or, when I started a nonprofit in 2003, our motto was once we started a nonprofit to provide chaplains at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. And our motto was one spirit, one soul, one child at a time. We thought if we can just give one child and one family a chaplain at their bedside, then that was enough. But before you know it, it's 10, it's 100. And the
that's right.
numbers, to your point, matter, and they matter to funders, and people want to bet on a winning horse.
They sure
And we
do.
become our own worst enemy
Yep.
and best because we stretch ourselves. So, talk to me about the big dream for Southeast Community Foundation. You said, more children, but what's the big dream?
Well, a couple of things. One is to keep the quality very, very high
Right,
because I don't want to deliver things that's not going to benefit them. So
right,
quality is really important. But the big dream is to be a model. We want to get to 1,000 students here, which we probably will this year. And when we take that model, we can put it anywhere into, as you mentioned, into any underserved community.
right,
And we want to get to other underserved communities. I started in Southeast because I knew Southeast LA, but
right,
obviously you want to get to South LA. I want to get into the San Fernando Valley. I want to penetrate Los Angeles in the underserved areas and with local people as
right,
the model so that people who fit into that community are
right,
doing, I call them hubs, or doing a hub, and they
right.
have the ability to help about 1,000 students in each location.
I love that. Well, and I really think, and not to go off on a huge tangent, but at our core, we were created, even as ancient man, we were in little villages around fires, taking care of
Yeah,
each other.
yeah,
And as we've become globalists, and I don't mean that in a political way, but as we've become people who help everyone around the world,
yeah,
we stop looking in our own backyard. And I love what you're saying about community taking care of one another and building a community within that community, not having people outside coming in, but neighbors taking care of neighbors, families
right.
taking care of families. That's that's how we're hardwired to be as humans. And that's just the best model, right?
Yep. Local people, people who talk the way you do, who you
Right.
see and know, they're role models immediately.
Right.
Who,
Right.
it's
You have
adds to,
history with and your
yeah,
family or
exactly,
whoever.
exactly. And
Right.
they can imagine themselves being that teacher because the
Right.
teacher is from their community and speaks their language.
And you trust them.
Yeah, and there's a bond. Let me tell you, these kids really love their teachers, and that bond is strong. And yet they transfer the bond to their teacher in the classroom too. What they've
Right.
learned is that teachers aren't scary. The teachers aren't bad. The teachers really do want to help them. And
Right.
that's fabulous as you watch them finally raising their hands in the classroom.
Right. I
Yeah.
love that. So, for someone who's listening and they feel inspired by everything they're hearing, what's like one small act or something that they could do that would be, where do people start? I mean, where do you start? Not saying you need to start a nonprofit because you don't need to start a
No.
nonprofit to make a difference. We're talking about neighbors helping neighbors or teachers, or I mean, all these people are helpers. It's not just about the founder. It's a whole pod, right? So where would you tell someone listening to start making a difference? How could they without overthinking it?
Thank you for that question because most people do not have the time. I've retired now from that other work. And so I do have the time and energy to put into this. And many people come up to me and say, "Oh, I love what you do. I want to do it." They're 40, they're working.
Right,
I said, "You know
right,
what? what you can do is get involved in a little way, and eventually you can do what I'm doing. But right
Right.
now, well, you have to work and raise your family.
Right.
So why not come to an event that we throw out? They're fun, and people get, or make a donation, see how it goes.
Right.
Follow us on
Right.
Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We're on all of those things. Come look
Right.
at our webpage. Um, if one really finds they have some time, volunteer and then
Right.
maybe get involved in the board or on a
I love
committee
that.
or get involved in a fundraiser that is fun. So those are all the ways that people can get involved. They don't have to do 100% of their time like I do. And the
Right.
other thing is don't be shy. I mean, so many people say, "Oh, I don't have the skills you have." I'm telling you, they have much better skills than I have. Nonprofits need people who know how to work a computer. Somebody had to work my computer for me because I didn't. They
Right.
can tell stories, they can entertain, they are creative, they can give a party. They know so many things. People have so many skill sets that they don't value themselves. That I'm
Amen. Amen, Julie. I mean, this is really, um, I get the same question. Well, I just can't, I love all the things you're doing, but I just can't do that. But you don't start, you
Yeah,
start with the smallest baby step, right?
right, right.
The smallest thing, and everyone can find that joy that you have in giving, that I have in giving. It's available to every human being.
It
It
is.
doesn't matter what your walk in life is, it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing, you can have that joy, and it's just so simple, right?
Real quick, we welcome people who want to volunteer. And my staff will kill me if I don't say we can take donations at secfoundation.org.
Okay,
Yeah, we need it
okay.
all. So thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay, okay. And we're going to give you one more plug at the end because I got two more questions for you.
Okay.
But we're going to give you one more chance to get that one. And so your staff
Okay.
will be
Good.
doubly happy with you.
Okay.
But I really do think we tell these stories and we have these important conversations with people who have inspiring stories like you because we want them to learn how to turn their passion into action. And you are a living example of what that is. And everyone can do it in the smallest way. But what do you think this journey has taught you about yourself, and how do you think you've changed in the process, or have you?
Oh, it definitely changed. I'm a lot happier. Um, I really encourage people as you go through your life to try and figure out what your passion is, because most of us are not lucky enough to work at our
Right,
passion.
right,
When I connected and realized that students in their education and in their health really meant a difference to me, would take the fire in me and I could get really, strong about it, then that's
right.
what I had to do. Um,
I love
Not
that.
every, what do I want to say? Forgive me, I've lost my train of thought here.
That's okay.
Ah,
Well, it's just really how this journey is. I mean, you started in
the journey.
2015, and it's not a, and you could even go back from being a little girl with polio. I mean, the journey is a long one. But there's so many lessons that we learn from what helping other people.
Yeah, forgive me. Yes, the lessons. One is patience, which I have none of. So this journey has forced me to be a whole lot more patient, even though I don't want to be. Um, and that's great. What it's also done is given me the privilege of looking through other people's eyes,
Mm,
being in their homes, being
beautiful.
involved in their families. I've been to so many graduations, I mean, college graduations, and mingled with their parents, and the joy of that, the absolute opportunity to see life from a different perspective, and yet trying to bring them into the world they have to operate into.
Right,
So that has been a real privilege. You become very humble. There's no doubt that
right,
you recognize all the benefits we've had, different people have
right,
had, and how much struggling other people are. And I have great admiration. That's what's the other benefit. I've learned that I admire these people that work so hard and have so many other obstacles to overcome than we have. So
right,
yes, there's been a lot of change in me. Um, the gift of being able to start something and yet give it away. That's the key,
right,
is that
right.
eventually you give it away. so that it can continue
Ah,
to grow.
I
Um,
love
a
that.
hard lesson to learn.
I love that. I mean, it is the Holy Grail. And forgive me for having Lucy, my dog, interject in that beautiful.
Okay.
She wanted to pipe in because she agreed. She agreed as well. But really, it's really what it's all about, right? It's really the gift of giving it all away.
Yep.
And the more you give, the more you get. And it's so cliche, but it's so
It's
true.
really true. It's
It's
really true.
it's really, really true. So if you could share with our audience like one challenge for them, one little act of kindness that they could do that would could change someone's day or maybe change their life. What do you think? One little thing that someone could do that would just, an action item they could take away from listening to your incredible journey, your amazing story, and all the beautiful work that you do.
Oh,
What's one thing that someone could do that they could just do that would a little step that would be a takeaway?
that's when you see children, interact with them. Um, if I believe in giving children books, so I buy the books are not very expensive, these little books.
No,
And
no.
um, it's a precious thing. And the kids I've given books to, I'm pretty sure still have their book. Um, yeah, to give them some joy, interact with children if you can, um, and let them see a little bit of the world that you get to see. Because so many children are locked into a parameter that doesn't give them much exposure to anything else.
Right.
So the more opportunities you have to talk to children about the world and the sky and the ground and growing and what's out there, very wonderful. Um,
I love that.
yeah,
I love that. Because it is that simple. It is just that little awareness
yeah,
of just I could do that. I could have a couple
yes,
books in my car. I could, go and talk to some kids. I could volunteer. Just it's just so simple. It's just so
yes.
simple.
Let them see that you see them. That's a
Mm,
big,
there you go.
they want to be
Right.
seen. Do you
Right.
see them?
Right. I
And
love
their
that.
interaction really helps that.
I love that. And I see that a lot with the kids that I work with. I love, catching them being kind when I'm
Yeah.
seeing someone, do something nice for somebody else, give them their seat or, oh, come sit here. I'm like, oh, wow, look at you. You're so kind.
Yes.
And they just look at you like, wait, what? Like I was caught being good? There's nothing. I love doing that. And they
Yeah.
just light up and it's makes me so happy to see, acknowledge them doing something wonderful. So hopefully they'll do more wonderful things, right?
Yes, so many of the children that we've interacted with have moved forward and give back to their community. It was a key part of our program always is you're being helped and your job is to help your community give back.
Yeah. Pay it forward. And I love that you have someone on your board who's a living, walking
Yes,
example of
I
that.
do. Yeah.
Well, now to make your team proud of you and more
Yes,
happy,
yes, 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 please.
please tell us your website name, your Instagram name, your Facebook, all the things where we can follow you. And I,
Well, you asked me for more than I actually know.
well, that's okay. Well, you know your website.
I know my website. It's secfoundation.org.
Okay.
secfoundation.org. You
Perfect.
can find us on LinkedIn and you can find us, and of course, I'm on LinkedIn, Julie Coyne. Instagram, we're constantly posting events we're having. Facebook, we're on Facebook. So become our friend, please. Um, and if you are interested in us, there is a donation knob on our website. So please go and see. We've got little videos. We have kids. We have what we do, and we need, and we embrace the support and the
Yeah,
partnership with everybody out there.
absolutely. Absolutely. Because it takes a village
It
to
does.
do this work. It takes a village to do this work. Julie, thank you for sharing. Thank you for inspiring us. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and just thank you for making a difference in the lives of so many children. And the ripple effect of that is immeasurable.
Thank you for this opportunity, Heidi. I am so grateful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Charity Matters podcast. I so enjoyed my conversation with Julie Coyne and hearing about how her work is truly changing lives. Her insight about the privilege of being able to look through life through somebody else's eyes is something that I'll be thinking about long after our conversation. If you'd like to learn more about today's guest or other modern day heroes, visit us at charity-matters.com or connect with us on Instagram at Charity Matters. And if this episode inspired you, which I hope it did, please share it with someone you care about. And don't forget to subscribe or leave a review. It helps these stories to reach and touch more hearts. And more than anything, thank you for caring, for believing in goodness, and for being a part of our Charity Matters community. You are exactly what the world needs more of. Remember that together we can make a difference, one small act of kindness at a time. Charity matters. See you next time.